Warning, this episode contains adult language, mature situations, the stress of being an ice skater, obscure old magical girl series, hard-ass assistant coaches, and overworked office ladies. Listener discretion is advised. Episode 414, Night of the Ice. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Reviews, some podcasts and manga reviews about connectly enhanced narratives. I'm your host Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope all of you are doing well during this very unique time. Hope things have been going great for you and hope that you've been having a very good April. I've been doing okay, doing some planning and plotting and setting up some new things for Spiraken. You're going to have to wait and see as I set it up, but if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Spiraken, or some podcasts and manga reviews about connectly enhanced narratives, is a podcast that discusses geeky topics, from manga, movies, video games, and other things. Since it's the manga review, obviously we talk about manga, and I tell you the pros and cons about it, how the art style is, the overarching plot, the actual production quality, and most importantly, if it's worth investing your time in or not. You don't have to agree with anything that I and my co-hosts say, but we try to be educational, enlightening, exciting, and most importantly, entertaining. You can check out any of our earlier episodes at www.spiraken.com, or also on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKN in your search engine, and I guarantee you'll find us one way or the other in the social media platform or entertainment section of your choice. And if you have any questions or comments or concerns, you can email me personally at Zan, that's XAN, @Spiraken.com, or you can join our Discord at tinyurl.com/Spira Discord. That's SPIRADISCORD. And so, now that that's out of the way, let's actually get to it because we've got some news. Some good news, some bad news, and some just interesting news in general. So first off, the big happy news is that the Eisner Award judges have nominated manga creator Mato Hagio to be inducted into the Will Eisner Comic Awards Hall of Fame. She and 15 other nominees have been nominated for this prestigious award, and 4 out of them will be inducted. Now, for those of you who are unaware of Mato Hagio, she is a pioneer of shoujo and shonenai manga, and her works helped establish basic conventions and tropes in these fields. Now, some of her works included They Were 11, The Heart of Thomas, Otherworld Barbara, The Poe Clan, A Drunken Dream, and Other Stories, and various other titles. Now, she has received the Person of Culture Merit Honor in 2019, the Asahi Prize for Fiscal Year in 2016, and she was the first shoujo author to receive the Spring 2012 Medal with Purple Ribbon, which honors academic and artistic achievement. So she's someone who is influential into the manga world, and hopefully she does win the Eisner Award. Now, to counterbalance that, unfortunately, we do have some sad news. Manga creator and animator Fumio Hasimatsu passed away at 77 on April 16th. And some other facts about him. He was born in 1943 in Nagoya and debuted with the Chikyu Ayushi manga when he was 15 years old. He was an assistant to Osamu Tezuka. He's credited as the first mangaka to adapt Japan's mythological text records of ancient matters into a manga format in its entirety. The manga for this was Dayomu Koji, an entire series. He also drew manga adaptations of other historical texts and stories about Japan's history, such as the Dogen-sama Monogatari manga and various volumes of the Gakyushu manga Nihon no Rikishi manga. His funeral was private, and he will be missed. It's unfortunate that we lost another amazing creator. It really. So now let's get into some other news. In general news, mangaka Kentaro Sato is working on a new manga. They revealed a rough storyboard, but not much more than that. We have no idea when it's coming out. We're just working on something new. In late May 2021, Tsukushima will launch a new digital manga titled Anata o Nomu, or I Will Drink of You. It's going to be released on the online distribution platform Mecha Comics. Now, note, this is not a giant robot platform. The Japanese word mecha means absurd or extreme and doesn't really refer to giant robots or anything mechanical. So there's that coming out. On May 26th, Ran Kuzo's Kurowa Medica ni Watashi no Kawaii ga Sujinai, the one-shot manga, is getting a full serialization in Kodansha's weekly shonen magazine. Now, the manga has been teased as a 1,000% cute romantic war between a popular girl and a romantic, stunning guy. Now, the one-shot was released in December 2020. Hopefully it's good. Now, sometime in late April, Ryo and Aya Tsukishima's Perfect Crime manga is getting a planned spin-off that will launch on, as you guessed it, Mecha Comics, the online manga distribution platform. Now, the original Perfect Crime manga ended in its 10th volume on January 16th of this year, and it's a very unique story that I highly recommend. But let's get on some other stuff. So on April 26th, Atsushi Okada, the maker of Nyankees, which we reviewed back in episode 315 of this podcast, is launching a new manga titled Sosei Yugi, or Twin Games. This can be released in Weekly Young magazine by Kodansha. And it is teased that the story is about brothers' conflict over the traces of the strongest family organization. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Yakuza manga. I am a little bit excited about this. Also on the 26th, Asato's 86 light novels getting a new prequel manga titled 86 Fragmental Neoteny. And that is the news of the week. I know it's not as much as it was last week, but yeah, that's what we got. And it was quick and easy. I want to get it out as fast as I could because, well, not a lot of manga. Because I want to get to this manga and get it out of the way because this manga is kind of an anomaly. So, if you remember for the last episode, I spun that one, not only the Wheel of Manga, Nekdikteon Pide reviewing a manga that was written by Yayoi Ogawa, who is the mangaka for Kiss and Never Cry and a series I'm familiar with called Tramps Like Us, or as it's actually known as You're My Pet. Now, this was published by Kodansha, released over here by Kodansha. It is a Josei manga, and its original run was 2012 through 2018 with 11 volumes, and it is a comedy-drama Josei romantic sports slice-of-life series that is known simply as Ginban Kishi, or Night of the Ice. So, Night of the Ice, first off, is a spin-off or side story of Kiss and Never Cry, which has not been released in English. So, there are references to characters that were in Kiss and Never Cry, and you had to actually research. And the premise of this is that there is how to put this politely. This is a manga about romance, nerddom, and sports superstitions. Now, what do I mean by sports superstitions? Well, you've heard the stories of athletes doing weird things before really big games. Like maybe they'll do a dance. One team hired a voodoo doctor to bless their team and curse their rivals. Another person will not wear the color purple at all before games. Another person wears their old uniform underneath their current uniform because it's lucky for them. So there are lots of weird traditions that athletes have in order to make their game amazing. And this manga is about that. It's about a figure skater who is super handsome and super popular named Kokoro Kijimanai. And he is an international figure skating star, and in the public eye, everyone loves him. He's handsome, he's gallant, he's perfectly flawless. But in reality, he's not that exactly, because underneath all the glittery costumes and his amazing ice skating work, including his quadruple spin, which I didn't even think that was even possible, there's a little secret behind him. He is a hopeless, geeky otaku. He's obsessed with one series, which I don't even remember the name of because it's so insane, but he's obsessed with this series. And more importantly than that, he uses it in a way that it's connected to his caring for his childhood friend, Chitose. Now, Chitose, she's been Kokoro's friend since they were children. And they were raised together, they grew up together. Chitose was a figure skater, but she dropped out. And now she works for a health magazine, Sasso. And she's trying her best to do the job that she has at Sasso. She's trying to become a nutritionalist, and she likes her job. However, she's constantly pulled out of work to help out Kokoro. And now, why is this? The reason why is that in order for Kokoro to land his quad jumps and be awesome, he needs Chitose to show up before the match, take out a ballpoint pen which is shaped like a magical wand from their favorite TV show, which is the anime that he's obsessed with, and she has to recite a specific spell that is to power the mystical prince knight that is protecting the magical girl, and it's kind of lewd because it talks about throbbing. not going to get into it, but she says this, and then he has the power that he needs to save the day. And his insane coach, or the coach assistant, makes sure that she is there, even though it could be detrimental to her job. Like, she has to be working on a project. She breaks in, grabs her, and takes her to the competition to do it. And it's leading to a lot of issues in Josei's life. And it's kind of interesting, the premise behind them, because they both love this magical girl anime, and it makes Kokoro a better skater. But the other thing is that Kokoro has a huge crush on Chitose, but he never tells her about it. Like, he's in love with her, and he has hundreds of women throwing themselves at him, but he loves this Chitose, who is 5 foot tall, with a bun hair, plain looking, but she gets him, and he shows his real self to her. And she sees him as her little brother, but more importantly than that, the reason why she sees him as that, not as a romantic figure, is because when they were younger, she heard a rumor, a bunch of girls talking, and they said, "Hey, I heard he likes that girl." No, there's no way he can like that girl. She's so plain and normal. She's not worthy of Kijimanai. So she believes that she isn't worthy of his love, but he loves her. And it's a mixture of a sports anime showing his competitions and then the romantic relationship between them and all the things going on. Like, you have her boss who shows up, who's really flirty, and whenever Kokoro sees them together, he thinks, oh wait, are they a couple? Is that good? Is that bad? And by seeing that kind of throws off his game, and even with the spell, he messes up because he's concerned with, she doesn't like me, she's got someone else, I failed, but that's not the case. And it gives him a lot of anxiety, and that's what this is about. It's about the anxiety that Kokoro feels, and that the only person he feels comfortable with is the person he loves, but she's trying to be an adult and get things up, and should he be an adult, should he not be an adult? It's a mixture of coming of age, and it's a very different sports manga, I've got to say. It does cover some of the elements of the sports world, but I'm assuming that all of the stuff about figure skating, all of the point systems, all of that is in Kiss and Never Cry. And this is just, you've already read that, so you have a basic knowledge. I have no knowledge in figure skating, so I have no idea a lot of the elements to it. So I was coming into it kind of blind. But I do like the premise of it. I do like where it's going. I think it's kind of, not whimsical, but it's kind of cute that he is in love with Chitose, and Chitose doesn't get that she's in love with Kokoro as well, or maybe she's not. We're not sure. One thing I do like that they focus on is that when they're together, they speak with their native dialect, because they're country bumpkins, so they have a bit of an accent. It could be that they have an Osaka accent or where their regional accent that they have, but when they're talking to other people, they smarten up. They speak eloquently. They speak proper Japanese. That's a nice little thing that you don't really notice, but when you see it, it's kind of cool. It shows that they're trying to play adult, almost. Now, one other thing I do like about this is that there's lots of references to the other series. Like, at one point, Kokoro is talking to a friend of his about his crush. And we know that his crush is Chitose. And he's talking to his friend about it, and his friend starts describing this person, and you see what his friend is visualizing, and he's visualizing the main character from Tramps Like Us. Like, he's like, oh, she's a ball buster, isn't she? Like, no, yeah. And it's like, it's a disconnect between the two as they're describing the character. And it's a nice little Easter egg. Now, with all the positives said, and the art is pretty spot on. It's clean, but it has a very Josei, Shonen-ai, shoujo style to it. That's pretty good. But with all the positives, in the end, this is a side story, so it feels like when you first read it, you feel like you stepped into the room in the beginning of Act 2 of a play. You have no idea what's going on. You're kind of lost. And while it is a very engaging story, it feels like it's spinning its wheels at some point. It's the same joke, and it's leading to more. At the end of the first volume, we got Chitose going to Brazil for a work trip, and we know it's not going to work out because she's going to a work trip, and that's going to antagonize him. But it feels like it's a will they, won't they, but something's off about it. I've read better stories than this, and this is compared to Princess Jellyfish and Watakoi, but those were more engaging and more interesting in my... They felt there was more heart to it, I think. If that makes sense. This one is missing something, and I can't quantify what it is. However, it is an engaging story. And if you're a fan of figure skating, if you're a fan of basic rom-coms, you might really enjoy this. For me, it just didn't stick the landing, to make the pun. So out of our rating system, I have to give Night of the Ice a gift from your crazy Aunt Muriel. It's okay, but in the end, it's pretty forgettable. There are some, like I said, there's some good elements, some good ideas. It's not there yet. It's got to get a little more engaging. That's my thought. Now, if you disagree with me, you can comment in the show notes, or you can email me personally at Xan, that's Xan, @Spiraken.com. You can also tweet me at Spiraken on Twitter. Let me know what you think. So, with that in mind, let's actually get to the other elements of this podcast, including the manga releases and these are the mangas that were released for April 20th, 2021. We got 57 new titles. That includes 5 centimeters per second plus Children Who Chase Lost Voices, the manga. It's an omnibus. A Mysterious Job Called Oda Nobunaga, Volume 3, the light novel. Excel World, Volume 24, the light novel. After School, Hanako-kun, the manga. Alpharetta From Commonplace to World's Strongest Zero, the manga, Volume 4. Asadora, Volume 2, the manga. Baccano, Volume 16, the light novel. I am way behind on my Baccano. 8. Blue Giant Omnibus, Volumes 3 and 4. Bofuri, I Don't Want to Get Hurt, so I'll max out my defense, Volume 1, the manga. Cardcaptor Sakura, Clear Card, Volume 9. Children Who Chase Lost Voices From Deep Below, plus 5 centimeters per second, the manga, same one. Cirque du Freak, the manga, Volume 2. Golden Japonesque, A Splendid Yokohama Romance, Volume 2. Hard-Boiled Stories from the Cat Bar, the manga. Hazura Skill, the guild member with a worthless skill is actually a legendary assassin, Volume 1, the manga. High School DxD, Volume 3, light novel. I was a bottom-tier bureaucrat for 1,500 years, and Demon King made me a minister, Volume 1. If the RPG world has social media, Volume 1. I'm the Cat Lord's manservant, Volume 1. I'm the hero, but the Demon Lord's also me, Volume 1. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon on the side? Sword Oratori, Volume 15, the manga. King of Eden, Volume 3. King of the Labyrinth, Volume 2, the light novel. Magica Swordsman and Summoner, Volume 14. Mint Chocolate, Volume 2. Muzoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, the light novel, Volume 10. Our Last Crusade, or The Rise of a New World, Volume 6, the light novel. Overlord, Volume 13, the light novel. Penguin Drum, Volume 4. Plunderer, Volume 7. Raw Hero, Volume 4. Reign of the Seven Spellblades, Volume 2, the light novel. Rent a Girlfriend, Volume 6. Sasaki and Miyano, Volume 2. So I'm a Spider, So What? The manga, Volume 9. Super Sentai! Himitsu Sentai Gorenger, the classic manga collection, finally being released. Superwoman in Love, Honey Trap and Rabbit, Volume 1, the manga. Tamako-chan's a Fox, Volume 2. The Alchemist Who Survived Now Dreams of a Quiet Life in the City, Volume 6, the light novel. The Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess, Volume 2, the manga. The Eminence in Shadow, Volume 3, light novel. The Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt. Hey, how about treason? Volume 6, the light novel. The Indignation of Haruhi Suzumiya, the light novel. The Intrigues of Haruhi Suzumiya, the light novel. The Irregulars at Magical High School, Volume 16, light novel. The Kings of the Dead at the Royal Palace, Volume 1, light novel. The World's Finest Assassin Gets Reincarnated in Another World as an Aristocrat, Volume 2, the light novel. Torture Princess Fremd Torture Chan, Volume 7, the light novel. Uncle from Another World, Volume 1. WITCH, the graphic novel. Part 8, Teach to Be Witch, Volume 1. Wolf and Parchment, New Theory, Spice and Wolf, Volume 5, the light novel. Woof Woof Story, I Told You to Turn Me Into a Pampered Pooch, Not Fenrir, Volume 6, the light novel. You Call That Service, Volume 3, light novel. Your Turn to Die, Majority Vote, Death Games, Volume 1. Yamushi Pedal, Volume 17. And Zozo Zombie, Volume 10. we got some great titles on here, I gotta admit, and I'm excited for a lot of them. I'm excited for Zozo Zombie, Yamushi Pedal, Your Turn to Die, Majority Vote Death Game, You Call That Service, Wolf and Parchment, the two Haruhi Suzumiya light novels, Alchemist Who Survived, Super Sentai, Himitsu Sentai Goranger, Soma Spider So What, Penguin Drum, Mint Chocolate, Cardcaptor Sakura, Bakano, Blue Giant, Bofuri, Azadora, and 5 centimeters per second. There's some great titles on here. Which of these are you interested in? Let me know. So, first off, thank you guys for listening. I've been doing this for so long, and I'm going to continue doing this. I love doing this. And I'm going to be moving into some other ventures as well. I'm going to be starting putting some stuff on YouTube and in some other elements. Maybe setting up a Patreon soon. I'll let you know how that's going. It's launched, but there's that. There's a secret project which I've been working on for 2 years. That's actually almost done. Things got pushed back with the whole COVID. But anyway, there's a lot going on. I do appreciate it. And I thank you guys for sticking around. And so, with that in mind, let's get to the part you've all been waiting for. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about that one, that only, Yes, dear listeners, the Wheel of Manga, except no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on. What I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of the 10 slots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga. Whatever number it lands on, that's what we're going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 315. And I got to say, I am excited for a lot of these titles, and I am hoping that we're going to get a really good one. We're going to see what happens. So let us spin and see what we're going to be reviewing in the next episode. Number 10. Oh, so in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, I'm reviewing a manga about a kidnapped princess and how she deals with being kidnapped by a bunch of demons. And what are we talking about? We're talking about Sleeping Princess in the Demon's Castle. A lot of comedy, a lot of fun. We will see how I feel about that when we review it. So, like I said, as usual, check out the website, www.spiraken.com. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, you can email me personally at xan@spiraken.com. Thank you for listening. More importantly than that, hope you're all doing well. Hope you guys have a great week. I'm Zan. I'm Gonzville. Catch you guys next time, and keep reading manga. See you later.